At the holiday meal, my mom laughed. If you were gone, we wouldn't blink. I slid the will across the table and said, "Guess we'll find out." The room went dead silent. My stepdad's fork froze halfway to his mouth. My half-sibling stopped chewing. But Mom? She kept that cruel smile, thinking I was being overdramatic. See, this wasn't the first time she'd made comments like this. Growing up, I was the accident baby who came along when she was 43 and already had her real family with my stepdad. While my half-siblings got college funds and new cars for their 16th birthdays, I got lectures about being grateful for having a roof over my head. When I graduated valedictorian, she missed the ceremony because my half-brother had a baseball game. When I got into MIT on a full scholarship, she complained about how the celebration dinner was cutting into her book club time. When I started my first tech company at 22, she told people I was playing with computers instead of getting a real job. But the real punch? Last Christmas, when I offered to buy them a house, a literal house, mortgage-free, she turned it down because she didn't want to owe me anything, then spent the next 6 months complaining to relatives about her mortgage payments, conveniently forgetting to mention my offer. Even my success seemed to annoy her. When Forbes featured my company, she cut out the article but never mentioned it. When I sold my first startup for $800,000, she asked if I was finally going to settle down and get a real career. When I launched my second company, she introduced me to her friends as her son, who does something with computers. The breaking point came 3 months ago at my half-sister's wedding. I'd offered to pay for the entire thing, venue, catering, flowers, everything, but Mom insisted on doing it as a family and took out a second mortgage instead. Then, during her Mother of the Bride speech, she thanked everyone who contributed to making the day special. She thanked the florist, the caterer, even the DJ, but somehow forgot to mention the person who quietly paid for the photographer, the open bar, and covered the cost overruns when the venue tried to price gouge them last minute. That night, sitting in my Tesla in their driveway, watching them celebrate inside their house that I could have bought them 3 times over, something shifted. I realized I'd been desperately trying to buy love from people who saw my success as an inconvenience rather than something to be proud of. What they didn't know was that 6 months ago, I'd been diagnosed with a rare autoimmune condition. Nothing immediately fatal, but serious enough that my lawyer insisted I update my will. The diagnosis came with a brutal reality check. Life is short, and I'd been wasting mine trying to prove my worth to people who'd already decided I had none. So I made some changes. Big changes. The will I'd been carrying in my jacket pocket for weeks wasn't just any will. It was a masterpiece of legal documentation that would have made my law school friends weep with joy. Every contingency planned, every loophole closed, every possible challenge anticipated. And here's the thing about being the family disappointment who somehow became a millionaire. You get to make very interesting decisions about your money. Go ahead, read it, I said, watching her pick up the document with shaking hands. Her face went from smug to horrified as she read. "What's it say, Mom?" my half-brother asked. She couldn't speak, so I did. "It says my entire estate, including the $2.3 million from selling my tech company, goes to the local animal shelter." The table erupted. My stepdad was calculating numbers. My half-sister was hyperventilating, plus another $500,000 from my life insurance. Same shelter. Mom finally found her voice. "You can't be serious. We're your family." I stood up, grabbed my coat. "According to you, if I disappeared, you wouldn't even blink. So I made sure you'll never have to worry about me again. The dogs at the shelter, though? They'll miss me every single day." 6 months later, they call constantly. Funny how much they'd miss someone they claimed they wouldn't notice.